United Airlines continues to innovate at a record pace. Today, we'll discuss United's latest announcement of new routes featuring new destinations ranging from Greenland all the way to Mongolia. In this video, we'll assess all the tactics United is using and come to some conclusion about these game-changing services. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. United is launching a unique global expansion for summer 2025, adding 8 new cities and 13 new routes. I hope all of you are excited for this detailed analysis today as we jump into an article from the Points Guy along with some additional complimentary thoughts here at the end of the video. So I hope all of you are excited to hear what United is doing as they are truly changing the game in many ways. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this Points Guy article, everybody. United Airlines is gearing up for its biggest and perhaps most exciting summer season yet. On Thursday, the Chicago-based carrier unveiled a blockbuster expansion that includes a whopping 8 new international destinations and 13 new routes. In recent years, United and its competitors have turned their summer expansions into a grand reveal, with teaser posted on social media in the hours leading up to the announcement, followed by splashy press releases with exciting details of all the new places you can go. But in this announcement, United's largest international expansion yet is unlike any we've ever seen from a major U.S. airline in recent history. In fact, it included a skew of exotic, off-the-beaten-path destinations that are likely to impress, assuming that you can place them all on a map. As of for me, I didn't even know the airport codes for some of United's new destinations. Here's everything you need to know to start planning your summer trip, and if you're ready to book, all these new flights are available except for a couple of different destinations. So first and foremost, United reveals 8 new destinations, and as you can tell by this map here, it's pretty exotic, but it's absolutely awesome to see. So let's go ahead and get into this, everybody. Beginning in May of 2025, United will add 8 new destinations to its network. The full list is available below. So as you can see, they're going to start 5 new routes out of Newark with service to some various smaller communities in Spain, Portugal, Nuuk, and also Italy as well. As you can tell, the frequencies and various destinations vary per season, of course, and when they start in the geographic calendar, but most of them are here in the summer as well. So you can see I believe it's Barbo, Spain, Faro, Portugal, Madeira, Portugal, Nuuk, and then you also have, I think it's Palermo, Italy, maybe. But anyway, as you can tell, these are operated anywhere from twice to 4 times a week, featuring various aircraft, including the 757, 737 MAX 8, and 767-400. I really want to highlight that service to Greenland right there, Nuuk. That is a twice-weekly service. I think this might be one of the few United destinations you can fly twice weekly to, and I just think the strategic element of that, which we'll discuss later, is incredible. They're kind of integrating some low-cost aspect to this, so absolutely awesome to see this. You can also find additional services, inter-Asia services from Tokyo to Taiwan and also Tokyo to Mongolia, which is absolutely crazy. So the first one's year-round. It will be on a 737-800, and that'll start in July. And then in May, you'll start the service to Mongolia. That will be 3 times a week, also on a 737. You're also going to find new service from Washington Dulles Airport to Dark, which, let's see, let me look at the map real quick. That's going to be to Africa, which is really cool. And that's going to be a 3 times weekly 767 service, which is awesome. And we'll dive more into the details of all that here in a moment, but that's just a brief look at the new services for destinations. 7 of the 8 new destinations aren't served by any other U.S. airline. Delta Airlines flies from Dark to New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport. Technically, Delta will also be soon flying from New York to Spicely in Italy, but Delta chooses, I think it's Cantaria, as its primary Circalcan getaway, while United is opting for Parjo, which is, there's various communities there, so we'll dive into more details, but it's definitely an interesting thought there for sure. And it's interesting that we're jumping from no U.S. nonstops to Circally to suddenly having 2 as of next summer, something that's likely to please the White Follows fans. Otherwise, this list of new routes feels markedly different than any other recent announcement from United. You'll notice that there are no new flights to London, Paris, Rome, or even Athens, Greece, some of the tried and true destinations that can consistently draw scores from American tourists each summer. Of course, United already flies to many of the top European destinations, with 2 additional new transatlantic routes taking off next summer as detailed below, but it's interesting to compare United's new announcement to the recent expansions unveiled by American Airlines and Delta. American and Delta are still very much focused on the pre-coronavirus pandemic playbook of boosting services to popular European destinations such as Athens, Rome, and Edinburgh, Scotland. United and its network planning team, led by Patrick Collet, are chatting about their own course. They continue to add service to far-flung destinations that might first ilk a "where's that?" question when you read the announcement. With strategies working best in long term is still up for debate. After all, not every new United route works. The airline calls Faro a new destination this year, but was originally announced that city in 2023 and then scrapped the launch of the new flights just weeks before they were supposed to start. Plus, the airline recently added new flights to Tenerife in Spain's Canary Islands in 2022, but they weren't as successful in the summer as originally planned. But now United will try them operating them with exclusively in the winter to see if there's more demand. That said, several of the recent new United routes are for sure winners. Take, for instance, service to Cape Town and Johannesburg, which Carly referenced more than once in the briefing with reporters on Wednesday afternoon ahead of the announcement. Those routes were innovative when they were launched in 2019 and 2021, respectively, and are now consistently performing as some of the best in the international network. Time will tell at United's new destinations fair, but the airline is confident they will succeed. Quote, people look at United to tell them where to fly. These are unique destinations that are undiscovered gems. United just became this one-stop shop for all unique content that you need. Whether it's business, whether it's leisure, whether it's a honeymoon, no matter what it is, people are coming to United, end quote, Qualley said. Despite United's network chief just stating his own professional Instagram account, still considers, quote, the routes as his real, quote, content. It's interesting that 4 of the 5 new flights from Newark will be operating on narrow-body aircraft. The Boeing 737 MAX 8 does not feature lie-flat pods in the pointy end of the plane, just like standard domestic recliners, so it's pretty clear these routes are geared towards leisure flyers. All of the new transatlantic routes just one will be operated during the daytime in both directions. The service to Nuuk and Greenland, flights will depart Newark at 11:30 a.m. and arrive at 6:45 p.m., all times local. The plane will remain there overnight and then leave there at 8 a.m. and land back at Newark at 9:30 a.m. While most of the focus is on the Atlantic, United also has been busy in recent months growing its presence at Tokyo's Narita International Airport in a de facto gateway hub within the larger region. The airline recently announced new flights from Tokyo to Cebu in the Philippines taking off later this month and now is adding 3 more short-haul regional routes from the airport. Its latest announcement includes new routes from Tokyo to Mongolia and Taiwan. United says the joint venture partnership with Japanese airline Nippon Airways will help these routes take off. The new flights will be supported by travelers looking for one-stop connections from the US. We are thinking about Tokyo differently than what we've thought about it in the past. I think Tokyo is a real asset to us. And when we went through the data, a lot of this traffic was connecting over in Beijing, which is not doing so anymore. And this is a way to connect it over Tokyo, Kawai explained. United adds 13 new routes. In addition to the new destinations, United is adding new routes to existing destinations for next summer, and they include Tokyo to Apla, I think that's how it's said, but whatever the case is, starts on April 2nd. It'll be year-round on 737-800. We have Washington Dulles International to Nice, France. That will be seasonal 4 times a week on a 767-300, and we also have Dulles to Venice, Italy, and that'll be taking off seasonally on May 22nd on a 767-300 and remain seasonal through September, which is pretty cool. With 2 new routes from Dulles, definitely fits the build for traditional European expansion. While Nice and Venice don't draw as many tourists as London or Paris, plenty of Americans still look to fly to these cities each summer, and United's new flights will have no trouble filling up. After all, the airline serves these cities from Newark and has a good pulse on demand. Plus, opening a new gateway will offer travelers more connecting opportunities from points across the U.S. As for the Tokyo to Korea route, United says it will further grow its presence in Tokyo with these flights. United already flies from Korea to Guam and Milan in the Philippines. United boosts short-haul international network. While much of the focus is on new long-haul routes, United isn't resting on its Lauderdales. I'm not exactly sure how that's said. Apologies. The airline will also have new short-haul international flights taken off next year. To start, a new once-weekly service from Houston to Puerto Escondido, I'm not sure where that city is in Mexico, will take off in April 2025. United will be the first and only airline to connect the 2 cities. In the airline's regional affiliate, Mesa Airlines will operate the flight using an ERJ-175, which is pretty interesting. Then, starting on May 22nd, 2025, United will add a new flight from San Francisco to San Jose, Costa Rica, on board the Boeing 737 MAX 8. Once it launches, the airline will offer service to San Jose from all 7 of its mainland U.S. hubs, making the largest U.S. carrier to fly to Costa Rica. Very impressive. While not included in this announcement, United will also start flights from Newark to Dominica in the Caribbean on February 15th, 2025, and that was previously reported. United's also going to grow its existing portfolio, and the airline will be expanding operating season and upgauges on certain aircraft on key European routes next summer. From Newark, the carrier will relaunch flights to Athens on March 6, 2025, to Venice on March 29th, 2025, and let's see here, I think it's Dubrovnik, and that's going to be on May 1st. And those flights will be daily services, while the Panama Spain services will be increased to 4 times a week. You'll also see United resume service from San Francisco to Barcelona and Chicago to Athens. The latter will be operated on Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner, adding more capacity than ever. So here's the bottom line. When it's all said and done, United will offer a whopping 800 daily flights and from 147 international destinations, including 40 nonstop routes no other major U.S. carrier serves. This expansion reaffirms United's position as the largest international airline in the U.S. from unlocking new adventures in Greenland, adding more service to Italy. United will have something for everyone next summer. For the airline, moves like this help enhance its end-to-end value proposition. Quote, what we see, the more unique content, the better the credit card acquisitions, and more unique content, the more different ourselves and our competitors, explained. While the airline has now formalized its summer plans, Kulik and the network team aren't going into hibernation mode. In fact, there has been long rumors that the carrier will soon add flights to Bangkok and possibly even to Hong Kong, Mong City, Vietnam. Those flights weren't announced in Thursday's update, but Kulik did drop a teaser during his remarks. We'll potentially have some more West Coast flying later this year, so stay tuned for that. And that is the article, everybody. So yeah, it is safe to say that there's a bunch going on at United, so this is just so innovative, and let's go ahead and get into a more in-depth, comprehensive roundup here of what we're doing. So if you can't tell, it is super impressive to see United with their expansion to obviously Europe and even Africa, some as well, along with Greenland, and then obviously their Tokyo and Narita presence. So I'll kind of dive into each and every one of it a little bit. Let's go ahead and start by establishing Newark. Newark's going to continue to grow as, getting to, for the point-to-point travel, as getting to airports like JFK is going to be really tough moving forward. So I think Newark really has large potential to continue to expand. They've done really well with their various European flights, and they continue to add very unique markets, and this is why getting the 737 MAX was a huge game changer for United, and also what they'll do with their Airbus A321 family aircraft. Flying these flights in the past wouldn't have been possible to, places like Madeira and others like that. It's just not feasible, period, because you're not going to see wide bodies that are able to fly that long of flights with some of the shorter runways and all the different pieces of the puzzle. But now with the 737 MAX, you have the right seat capacity along with aircraft that are adequate for this long of a journey to be able to do that. So it's truly impressive to see what United's doing here, and I think it's absolutely awesome. Also, not to mention the very large emphasis on the correct frequencies. They could have just said we're going to fly them all daily. They didn't do that. They're operating them anywhere from 2 to 4 times a week. I'm especially impressed with this service, the Greenland, huge monopoly that they're going to do really well on, but they're not operating it daily, which is super smart. Really going for the leisure traveler, going full on Allegiant mode. We're going to fly this twice a week. We're going to fly it probably Thursdays and Sundays, whatever it is. But I really feel like we're going to see more and more of this at least attempted from major U.S. airlines like United in the future, these legacy carriers. Obviously, that's been a dominant model for airlines like Allegiant to do twice a week, but I really feel like there's a time and place now with these different jets for airlines like United to do it. You're obviously not going to serve Newark to Miami just twice a week. It makes no sense to do that. But there's markets out there that make sense to serve, that you can make a large revenue on and eventually profit if you're serving them the right frequency. And I think United's really catered to that with these destinations. I also really like to add from Dulles to that city in Africa. There's not very much connectivity from the North American continent to Africa. So I really feel like any route that we get helps. So I think that will definitely be huge for them. So it's definitely so unique to see these unique expansions. And, the points guy really summed it up well, and I think United was going for the same. The thought when you see these destinations is, quote, where's that? And I think that's really important here to establish for United, because it gets the passenger thinking and start looking into opportunities that they may not have known of before. Madeira is a really cool island that most U.S. travelers may not know about, and, Greenland's an afterthought of traveling to because of how remote it is. But with these unique expansions from United, it is now a reality that you can travel to cities like this. Let's talk more about the Tokyo and Narita expansion. This is super smart for a variety of reasons. As more and more connectivity becomes available throughout traveling the whole entire world, the more connections you can get through alliance carriers, the better. And what's even cooler about this is I believe the Mongolia route is a monopoly for United. I don't believe any other carrier serves that, which is really crazy to think about. But if you're already going to invest the resources to have 737s over there, why not continue to use them? Why not, capitalize on having them over there anyway? And I think it's really smart that they're expanding from that Guam service, obviously, and a couple of the others they've had to add some really unique markets like this. And once again, these are all bookable co-share flights through airlines like ANA and any other Star Alliance carrier in the area, kind of like, if Air New Zealand passengers want that flight or whatever it is. It's really cool to see these more remote places getting served by US Airlines. So I feel like it's truly innovative, and, it's really cool. And even the little plane spotter inside of us can even say, wow, a United 737 is going to be all the way in Mongolia. That's probably a place I'll never get to in my life. But regardless, just thinking that our metal is over there is really cool to think about. And it definitely is a testament to what United is doing and what they see potential in. And again, the logic is so there for United on this because nobody else has done it. And it's super impressive to see what they have done so far. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do next. So I'm a huge fan of that. I also really like their new services from Dulles to Nice and Venice. Those are really good services as well. You're going to see even more and more promotion and, awareness for U.S. leisure travelers regarding these southern cities in Europe for the summer and even the winter time because of how nice they are. Obviously, amazing weather in places like Spain, Portugal, Italy, etc. And these areas are really nice, and I feel like people will continue to learn more and more about it as, more word of mouth gets out there along with just promotion online. So making these a reality is awesome. So it's really cool. Even my grandmother went to Nice several years ago. So just thinking about more connectivity is or Nice. It's Nice or Nice. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. It's one of those two, I think. But anyway, I know that, people are definitely going to enjoy that, which is really cool. So that's super exciting for United. And I think that they're really changing the game. And once again, the frequencies are awesome, which you're going to have 4 times a week on both of those, and then obviously slight changes, so that's absolutely impressive. And I'm glad that United's not just getting too fixated on working on long haul routes. They identified some really great markets. I think San Francisco to Costa Rica is really smart, and it's super impressive to see them serve it from all of their major hubs now in the US. That's great. I'm kind of interested by this Houston once weekly to the smaller community in Mexico. I'm kind of surprised. Again, this is another one where I think maybe twice a week would be a little bit more helpful. You can see some of these Saturday only flights be a little bit of a struggle period for these carriers because there's not a great return option for the consumer. I've ran into that several times trying to plan trips with my parents. We've had services from Tulsa to Miami and Orlando that are luckily now daily, but have been Saturday only in the past, and that's been a roadblock for us. So I think United definitely, I think there's some consideration to be done there to try and enhance their network a little bit. I gave huge credit to airlines like American. They have added additional daily flights on Thursdays and Sundays in 2024. I think that's huge. It's obviously a major investment from the carrier to make that a reality, and obviously resources are sacrificed, but it truly makes the difference in your revenue, and profit will soar in those cases. So interested to see what United Network Planning would have to say about twice weekly on a 175, but they obviously like the Greenland thought, so they got the right idea there, but we'll see how it performs anyway. And then the Newark service to that city down there way far in the Caribbean, really smart. The more connectivity, the better. Same concept as Italy. I feel like more and more promotion will get out there for that. Obviously, taxes can definitely be a roadblock in some of these cases, but again, if you're even considering travel this far, you're probably going to spend the money. So that's where I think United's got a really good job here. Now, once again, I think the Newark operation is very comprehensive, and there's quite a few connecting opportunities. I would like to see them continue to enhance that frequency base, though, for those destinations that they serve, and continue to offer plenty of options for consumers as well. Obviously, there's a bunch of connectivity from Chicago O'Hare and Houston operations like that, but there are some cities in the central U.S. that aren't quite as connected to Newark or Dulles anymore that used to be. That would be great to see a little bit more connectivity to, and that even goes to the eastern U.S. Cities like Pensacola don't have Newark or Dulles, so they can't connect on to cities like this. And obviously, it's a very unique, really based there for those operations that connect to Newark. So you can't satisfy everybody, but I hope they continue to either, one, add some more central U.S. cities to Newark, or two, it continue to enhance the O'Hare operation to provide more options for consumers. So yeah, it is quite an expansion, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed the analysis. I didn't want this video to be too long, but there was a bunch of information to go through, and that comes with, analysis as well. So I really hope all of you enjoyed this. I'm super excited for United's future and hope each and every one of you are as well. It's going to be interesting to see what they do next, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. But nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust the process. Do you love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.